Right, so in this video, I want to quickly go over these, which are the Optimum NiteBrite gloves. So these are advertised as a winter waterproof cycling glove. And as you can see, these are the ones that match here. So these are about a year old, this pair. And then these ones back here, these are like 3 or 4 years old. And I still use these now, just to walk the dog in the winter. So yeah, there will be a time where these are no longer viable. You can't really use them on the bike anymore. But they've kind of done their job, and considering they're like under £20 for these gloves, I thought they was really good. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this one, and as you might be able to see there, it's a size medium, which comes up at an 8.5 to a size 9. There is a size guide on the website. I'm not sure if they're an international company, if you can find this stuff in other countries, or if it's just in the UK. But yeah, I would say good points. Obviously the price, I think they're relatively cheap at $18.99. They're not too thick as well, which is another good point. You can still feel the controls and the brake lever, shifters and stuff like that, at least on a flat bar like a mountain bike. I don't know about road levers, but in terms of like mountain biking and shifters, brake levers and stuff like that, they do a good job. You can feel them. Another thing that is good about them is, for me anyway, is the fit. So these are a set of gloves that don't have like massively long fingers. They have quite short fingers on them. And I do kind of struggle with a lot of gloves where I have maybe stubby fingers or shorter fingers, or maybe more average sized fingers, and they tend to be too long. But on these gloves, they seem to be pretty good for people with kind of shorter finger lengths. So yeah, I guess some of the problems you may have noticed, this fastener coming undone, which is probably the worst part of the glove, I would say, is the way that it does up. Yeah, so ultimately this kind of stretchy material here gets in the way of the Velcro and ends up kind of eating or chewing into the Velcro, blocking it from sticking, as you can see there. And the other thing is, once you do actually, let's say that was perfectly on there, and then you want to put your jacket over it, it becomes a bit of an issue where you might want to twist your glove to get your jacket down, and then what can often happen is it just opens that as you twist the glove. So I think a better way of fastening the glove would be my kind of way to go if it was my product and I was going to change it. This is a bit annoying really. I guess for £20 it's somewhat acceptable, and it did work perfectly fine when I first got them. It's just over time this bit, I think, it getting stuck and causing some sort of issue. In terms of their waterproofing, you might be able to see on here it's a bit darker, and there is actually like a wet patch there. I think that they're fine in terms of waterproofing when it comes to rain, and if you're just riding on the road, I think they do a good job. But if, like me, you want to go off-road when it's raining and go through muddy puddles and splash into things, it can't really deal with that amount of water that you might get from like a big puddle splashing up at you, because obviously that's going to be a little bit more than like normal raindrops coming down. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about the waterproofing. I would say they're not waterproof, is the reality. But if I was just sticking to road riding, I think they would do a much better job at keeping my hands dry. But yeah, I think they're, as you can see from the old ones that I've had for a few years, they do have decent durability on them. Also believe all this grey stuff is somewhat reflective, so when the car lights hit them at night, or if you want to indicate, you should be able to see that strip on your back of your hand there. These are like little reinforcement areas just for comfort, and they do give you like their 2 fingers with the kind of rubberized, what would those be, pentagons on there, little shapes, honeycomb shapes on there, and I think that's for your phone. But as you can see, I've kind of used that quite a bit on my phone and it's worn down. But yeah, generally I think for like $18.99 it's quite a good glove really.